Welcome to episode 33 of Coffee with Coaches. I'm Zach Mitchell. I'm hosting this one, and I believe for the first time we've got two new guests here for the first time because Coach Flo, you were not here.
That's correct.
Last year. We had your large coaching staff kind of filtered in and everything. This is your first time here on the podcast, and we're excited to have you.
Excited to be here.
And then first year SID and assistant baseball coach Danny Marcuzzo. So you're here with us too. So really, it's two different coaches, but I'm gonna ask that you just bring the SID part to the job from the table today. So.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me too, Zach.
Yeah, it's a good one, Coach Flo, because Coffeyville, the Red Raven football team, sits here at 2-1.
Right.
3 games into the season, and you just got done defeating at home. I think at the time they were the number 17 team in the nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Iowa Central, and you guys looked really good, and everybody's really fired up for you.
Well, we're excited about how the season started. Obviously, we'd like to be 3-0, but the biggest thing that I've gotten out of the season so far with evaluating our team is that they've played hard for all 60 minutes of the ball game. And that's all I can ask of them. If they stay together, there's not been any pointing the fingers. Each week, a different phase has kind of stepped up and taken over to cover each other's backs when another part of the team is struggling a little bit. So that's what I've been most pleased about, everybody playing hard for all 60 minutes.
Well, and that's something that I think a lot of fans would take for granted that a team would do that.
Right.
But having that character on the sideline and on the field and I've been lucky enough to be down on the sideline for 2 of the home games.
Sure.
For the 2 home games, and you guys play fast. You play hard.
That's something we emphasize. You got to play fast. This game is high motor, high energy. I give a lot of credit to our assistant coaches because they did a great job in recruiting, going out finding not just good players but good character players also, and that's important when you're bringing in a lot of guys from all over the country, all over the state to make sure that they fit into your philosophy both on and off the field.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like Zach says, I've been able to be there for 2 of the home games. It's a riot to watch your defense get after the quarterback. Tell me a little bit about more of that, how they've been so good at putting the pressure on the quarterback and making it easier for the team.
Well, Coach Bryson and Coach St. Germain have done a really good job scheming up different defenses, different looks, different blitz packages, to confuse the offensive line. And that's the biggest thing is moving and making those guys have to communicate and get on the same page and not giving them the same look over and over. So those guys spend a lot of hours at the office, and it's paying off for our defense.
Absolutely. And on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, you guys have an absolute stable of running backs that get after it. Tell me a little bit about those guys.
Well, that's something we felt had to be a strength coming into the season because our offensive line had a lot of experience, and we felt we were pretty deep at the running back position. So we went in with the mindset that, hey, we've got to set the tone with the run game to help set up our pass game, and it has done that so far this season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, to go to the next level, and like you said, as a coach, you'd love to be 3-0 at this point. You'd love things to be perfect, but we all know we got to get better as the season goes on. Tell me a little bit some of these mistakes, because like Zach said, you guys play fast. You guys are an explosive offense at times. If you clean up some of those little details, you're going to be a team to be reckoned with. What's the plan going forward to clean up some of these little details?
The biggest thing is our kids keeping focus. Mm-hmm. That's the thing we stress over and over and over, and you hear me yell it throughout practice, throughout the ball game. When we lose focus or get a little bit comfortable, is when we struggle a little bit, and that's when we, give up a big play on either side of the ball, and it just comes down to staying focused. When you're getting tired, pushing yourself to regather your thoughts, staying balanced, not getting too high, not getting too low, maintaining a steady flow throughout the ball game, but focus is the number one thing that we're preaching right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The last game, again, I just because it's the most recent, and it was a big win, and it was
Definitely.
A lot of fun to broadcast way up on the 3rd floor, and even being down the sidelines, there was a lot of highlights there for us to get. But I think because you guys were in the lead and had a command for most of that game, and at the very end, the defense put it away.
Right.
Not only with the 2 interceptions returned for touchdown, but with a huge 3rd and 4th down stop on that last drive. But I think some people forget, because that game seemed like the clock would not run, not near 5 seconds.
Right. Oh, I hear you.
And I think people forget how long a football game is and how long that week is of practice leading up to it. I mean, you guys take it very seriously in preparation and getting ready. Like, can you just talk a little bit about like it's a Wednesday today? Well, how you've had 2 practices leading up. You got 2 more getting ready to go. Like, how do you keep people focused? How do you keep those athletes ready to go?
Well, a big part for me this year is really trying to keep them hydrated. So during camp, we went early in the morning with our lifting and then went practice in the evening. So trying not to get their bodies so drained to where they can't focus. Mm-hmm. So every Wednesday night we go in the evening. So tonight we'll go this evening. Also gives them an opportunity to get under the lights because we're going to be playing a 7 o'clock game, catching balls, catching punt returns, and all those things. We never try to put our guys in situations on game day that they haven't already been involved in during practice during the week. So we kind of curtail each week just a little bit different based on what our game is, that coming up Saturday. But today will be a big work day for us. Yesterday was a big work day for us. My biggest thing that we look for is each day that we have less and less corrections to be made. So that tells me that they're getting focused, they're paying attention. By Thursday, we shouldn't have to do a lot of coaching. By Thursday, they should have it. It's cleaning everything up, making sure we're precise, communicating well with each other so that when we get up to the line of scrimmage, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, we know our assignments and are able to go out and be very effective with that.
And having a football coach here and then a baseball coach here at the table, the only non-coach here, I always am fascinated by junior college athletics because you only have freshmen and sophomores.
Right.
But you mentioned, and that really struck me, that you want to do less coaching, I guess, and less prep when you hit the end of the week. Does that also come from your leaders on the team? They kind of take a step forward and kind of help out, get everybody where they're supposed to be?
There's no doubt. When you have sophomores or third-year guys, it makes a big difference. I've been in this league a long time, and the teams that have been successful year in and year out usually have some older guys that are mature, been through the system, understand what the expectations are on a daily basis, and don't allow others to go below those expectations. So it's important to build a core of guys each and every year that step up in that leadership role. And you never know who it is. Sometimes you think it's going to be a certain person, and all of a sudden it's somebody else. But the guys that gain the respect of the entire team have done a good job of stepping up and leading.
Do you have any names to throw out? Or I know you don't want to give everybody too big a head on the team and anything, but
no.
Do you got anybody you want to give a shout out?
Rashad Desir-Jones has been an incredible leader. He's a transfer we got from the University of Florida. His dad actually played here on a national championship team. He's come in, and I've gotten a lot of reports on campus and throughout the community on just how great of a person he's been. And he's a guy that goes out there, and when he speaks, everybody listens. Everybody listens to him. Offense, we've got a number of guys that have returned. They may be not as vocal, but they have that. They can get to each other. They can get on each other, and there's not that turning away of feeling like they're disrespected. They know, hey, if he's on me, there's a reason why I didn't take care of business. So the communication part's been really good throughout the program.
Well, good. Everything looks like you're preparing and working towards Butler Community College this week. That's close to home for you. How many years did you spend at Butler?
I spent 10 years over in El Dorado. Good 10 years with Coach Morrill. He was a great mentor for me leading into this position. I went to Itawamba for a year before the opportunity at Coffeyville presented itself, and I told myself that the only junior college in the country that I would even consider being a head coach at was Coffeyville because of the tradition. I knew everything about it. It just felt like if that job came open and I had an opportunity for it, that was going to be the only fit for me. But I spent 10 years over there, and we had a lot of success and a lot of good memories and so on and so forth. But it's all about Coffeyville.
Very good, very good. Tell me a little bit more about the mixed emotions going into all of it. Tell me a little bit more. Are you really wanting to get to those guys, or is it more we're just focused on what Coffeyville has to do going into this?
It's focused on what we have to do, and that's each and every week. Mm-hmm. We can't worry about the opponent, how they're going to be, how they're going to act, what they're going to do as far as emotions go. We've got to concentrate and focus on the schemes, our assignments, kind of keep those emotions in bay. But everybody knows how important this ball game is. I mean, it's like Alabama, Auburn, and Ohio State, Michigan, those type of things in the junior college level. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the game of the week on the national level, possibly, just because of the names and what has been done over the years between the two programs. But I'm always excited to go back over there. I still have a number of friends that were great to me and my family, and always look forward to seeing them. They've been supportive for us throughout a lot of different things in our lives. So there's good memories over there, but it's all about the memories here now.
Well, last year the Butler game was extremely emotional, just on one of the few times, the first win at home for Coffeyville over Butler since I think 1997. So it was a big game last year, and it came from kind of the defense. The offense took care of the ball, and they won the time of possession, but multiple defensive touchdowns.
Yep.
So I imagine Butler's going to be ready, fired up for you guys coming in, wanting to get a little payback.
Oh, there's no doubt. I've been over there for many games. I can't tell you exactly what they're saying. We'd have to edit out a lot of stuff.
No, not football. No, never.
But they'll be fired up. They'll be ready. They'll be excited. They'll be all jacked up and those type of things. And for us, I know our guys will be excited. But again, we've just got to control our emotions, stay focused. Again, I keep coming back to that. That's the number one thing, is that we don't lose focus and we come out from the beginning of the game and just maintain a steady and consistent pace throughout it.
And like you said there, with the hostile environment coming up, and I know all the things that you just preach right there, how do you go about preparing your team for this hostile environment? Do you speak to them before?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I always try to prepare them for every situation, whether it's at home, whether it's on the road, anything that I can gather throughout the week or weeks before that can help me, kind of guide our team in the right direction to make sure that nothing stupid happens, that they know how to react to the different situations. But, we're not going to go out there and be bullied around either with it. We're going to stand our ground, but we're going to play within the rules of the game and play between the whistles and finish everything off hard. So our guys will be mentally and physically ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, being mentally and physically ready and just it being locked in is something that's going to be kind of put to the test for the next month.
Yes.
Because you don't get to come home for the next month. And again, we talked about that before the podcast went up, and you'd mentioned it, I think, to me last week, and I just kind of put it in the back of my mind. I was like, there's no way. I didn't ignore it, Coach. I don't want to insult you.
No, not at all.
But it's just one of those things that you just don't really realize Veterans Memorial Stadium won't be active for the football team until October 13th, which is homecoming.
Correct.
So I know football traditionally 1 week, one game at a time, that type of thing. But is there any change whatsoever to how you prep for? Was it, I think, 2 or 3 road games and then a bye week? How do you guys look at that?
We've got 2 road games in a row, bye week, then our third road game. 2 of those will be overnight. So this first one won't. So most of the day will be the same routine as we normally have here. It'll be a little bit different because we do have a 2-hour drive, but it shouldn't take our guys out of it. When we go to Highland now, that's a different story because we'll spend the night because it's a 1 o'clock game, taking the team for the first time on the road overnight, preparing those guys for distractions and trying to eliminate those distractions and staying focused and keeping their time occupied in a positive way. All those things. So that'll be a little bit different for them. And then we'll go out to Dodge, and that'll be very similar to our trip to Highland on it. So hopefully they'll gain some experience through that trip and understand what it takes. But it's a business trip every time we go on the road. I thought our guys, the last time we went to Fort Scott, were really focused. It was almost, I was getting nervous because they were so quiet that I was worried that maybe they were falling asleep. But for the most part, they came out and played hard. And again, this last week, they maintained the focus a little bit better and kind of building on it and understanding that. That's the biggest thing when you preach something and they go out and have success with it. Then it kind of reemphasizes in their mind, oh, yeah, hey, this is what I have to do. So it'll be a test. We've got to be road warriors the next few weeks.
Well, getting back to you on a personal level, I ask this question to all coaches. I love to hear the answer from everyone. Tell us a little bit about a mentor you've had that helped you get to where you're at today.
I've been very fortunate. I've been around really good coaches at all of my stops, starting with Coach Jerry Partridge at Missouri Western gave me my first opportunity. Coach Liker was there as the offensive coordinator. They called me up, I think, a week before camp started.
Wow.
They had a running back position open. I went up there. I interviewed, and I got it. It was $3,000 for a year. I made that my first 3 years while I was there. And then Coach gave me an opportunity to go out to Fort Lewis out in Durango. I was out there for one season, Coach Throckmorton, and then Coach Morrill gave me my chance. I played with him back in 90 and 91 over in El Dorado, and then he gave me an opportunity to come back closer to our family, so went over there for 10 years and learned a lot from him. You know, being around him for 10 years, we could almost finish each other's sentences and knew what we were thinking. We were on the same page. There was always great communication, and then just decided to make a switch. Went down to Itawamba, down to Mississippi. Coach Williams down there gave me a new look on things, you know, just trying to gather bits and pieces of everybody. And then Coach Liker, somebody that I played for and then had been around in the coaching profession and know how well respected he is, and his philosophies on and off the field, and just kind of how to treat the kids. So I'd say a little bit from everybody, and that's what I try to do whenever I'm around a coach. You know, pick their brains, try to find out little things. If I can find one thing that fits into where the direction I want to go with the program, then I take that and build on it. I definitely don't feel like I know everything by any means. I'm always out there trying to learn more about leading young men into putting them in great situations to be successful on and off the field.
Yeah, it's always about learning in this profession.
Yeah,
so that's
once you stop learning, you're done. It'll pass you by really quick in this profession.
no doubt. But love to hear the journey. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thanks, Coach. Again, welcome to the podcast, and we just you too, Danny.
Thank
It's
you.
always good. It's always good to talk with you guys and to hang out. And I know people really enjoy, maybe not a behind the scenes look, but just getting to know your guys' thoughts on stuff, and especially Coach. Again, congratulations on the recent 2-game win streak, and we hope that
Thank you.
continues.
Definitely.
And hopefully we'll see you next week.
I appreciate it. Anything we can ever do, or love talking about our kids and our program in Coffeyville Community College.
We'll appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you.